Hi, Hannah.
Hi.
It's good to see you this week. How are you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good. So now, the real check-in.
Yes.
How was your week?
Good. Yeah. I wrote that letter,
Okay. Good. Good.
so that was a big part of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was hard.
Yeah.
It was really hard. Had a couple like stops and starts with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was actually kind of surprised on how much it took me to like write it down and then get all the words out, I guess.
Yeah. How much it took you? So, how much it took you time-wise, or emotionally, or both?
Both.
Yeah.
Like just actually, like I was kind of prepared for the emotional part a little bit more. Just we've been talking about
Right,
that,
right.
and whatnot. But the time piece,
Mm-hmm.
I was actually surprised on that. I was struggling to write, which normally I'm kind of just like do. So
Right. Just word vomit. a little
right,
bit.
exactly. So yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah. So it took you a lot longer than you expected.
Yeah, a lot longer.
Did you find yourself like really experiencing emotions as you were writing it?
Yeah, I was well, and one of the reasons why it took me so long, I felt like it was because I was like feeling so much, but not knowing how to start.
Yeah.
So it took me a while just to be able to actually put what I was feeling onto paper. Yeah, and then as I was kind of going and writing, it felt a little bit easier.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's just with practice or something, but
Yeah.
being able to articulate that was easier.
Yeah. So, I mean, first of all, congratulations for completing that. It sounds like, you really pushed through and you really stuck to it. And I know how easy it is to set something down when it makes you feel uncomfortable. So,
Yeah.
definitely want to celebrate that for you.
Yay.
Yay. And also, I am curious if you'd be willing to share some of the emotions that were coming up, that were overwhelming you, that were stopping and starting. What were those different emotions for you?
First, just kind of like a general anxiety, I guess.
Yeah.
Just that feeling in my chest of, like, we've never talked about this stuff before. Even me writing it down is kind of like a betrayal. I don't know, in a way, of just like, we don't talk about this. And I'm doing the exact opposite.
Like you're breaking a rule.
Yeah, exactly. And so there was kind of just that, and then I don't really know quite how to describe it other than kind of like angst of just like of just saying it right or saying it well, trying to have these words form into sentences that actually make sense.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it was just like, I was actually a little surprised on the things that I was worrying about. And maybe I was just attracting myself with that stuff. But it was like, I was so worried about the way that I would say it. I was trying to formulate it in my head, which is where I was feeling all the anxiety. So
Right.
it wasn't coming out, and so it really just took a while to calm down, I guess.
Yeah.
Get a little desensitized to what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Once though I started and started doing it, things did turn a bit deeper. I mean, I was still feeling like that anxiety, but just kind of feeling like pain.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just like, this hurts. And not really, like, sometimes, in some ways, like the first experience of me allowing myself to feel pain in this context.
Yeah. So you feel like this was the first time you allowed yourself to feel that pain.
Yeah. I think before it's always kind of been, I don't want it to happen, but it's I'm overwhelmed. It's happening anyway.
Yeah.
So this is the first time where it's been just, I'm doing this and I'm allowing it to happen.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So it wasn't because it was flooding or overwhelming you, but it was because you let yourself be vulnerable and let it come up.
Yeah. Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah. It was an interesting experience.
Yeah. Yeah, I imagine so. Did you gain any insight as you were writing?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was first kind of just, I guess the way that I was trying to get myself just to be able to start was going through and just talking about like specific things, like, we talked about the paper yesterday in the kitchen. Yeah, instances like that. Or last time. And so I was just kind of like, I feel sad when you like
assertive formula.
Yeah, exactly. Just to kind of just get it down.
Yeah.
But I was happy to see that like my writing started to be a little more free flowing towards the end of just like,
right.
You have made me feel small in my life and in our relationship.
Wow.
And I'd not been able to get there before. So.
Was that the first time you said that out loud or out paper?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was, so.
What was that like?
Shitty.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I'm being honest.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks.
Yeah.
But it's nice being vindicated. I don't know. Like, there's a part of me that's like, okay, there's a reason.
Yeah.
So, because I feel like kind of gone through life a little bit with not being connected to this stuff, not understanding it, and at the same time feeling incomplete.
Yeah.
So that, I guess that even though it sucks, in this way, I'm kind of more understanding myself.
Right.
So.
Because before you felt like disconnected and like you didn't understand, but also incomplete.
Right. Absolutely. And yeah, I mean, and if we broaden that to like my relationship with Ben and how this has gone, I'm wondering if that feeling of smallness has been a part of that also.
Yeah.
So
you think you may have been made to feel small by Ben?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What are some ways that he made you feel small? In the breakup or in your relationship or otherwise?
Yeah, with the breakup, just like not acknowledging me, like it was over, it was done. And then we talked about that email of just like him saying that I was really inconsiderate, but that being the only communication that I got.
Yeah.
So, I've been feeling, and we've obviously been talking about this, but I don't understand, I don't know why, what's going on. But kind of with this, like attaching that is, I don't have a choice in this. Like I don't have a say. Which has never sat right with me.
Right.
In my other, like, other friend relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more assertive in those.
Right.
But maybe that's why it hit me so hard, was this reminds me somewhere in my brain of my relationship with my parents.
Right, because they didn't give you a say.
Right.
So maybe all of the emotion and anxiety and confusion surrounding Ben was really not about him.
Maybe. I think what's been interesting for me in this time has been that our conversation hasn't stayed on him.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
And for it to go in this direction, I guess and to be so easily like not talking about him,
Mm-hmm.
which before, like, I'm sure
that
you
was the
remember,
thing. Yeah.
like that's all we were talking about,
Yeah.
and that's all I could think about. But for him to be so easily dropped out of this conversation, like I guess that's like the really big evidence for me of like that this is not just about him.
Yeah.
And something that I actually like saying, which might be weird, but it's kind of like a revenge thing, maybe, of just like, it wasn't about him. He wasn't the important piece.
Yeah.
Which is something I couldn't have said
Before.
That
sounds like it's really empowering for you.
Yeah. Because I hated the idea, like it makes me angry right now.
Yeah.
I hated the idea that I was under someone's power in that way. Like,
right.
Not my parents, but like someone, I had met and was dating, like, and falling apart, like we've talked about this, but
right.
Being 30 and oh my God,
it's happening again.
It's happening again,
yeah.
and I can't contain myself. Like, hate that. So I actually like, for some part of me is like, okay, thank God, this is not just about him, because that's just not acceptable.
Yeah.
So that worked out.
Yeah. Why did it feel unacceptable?
Because I don't want to be that kind of woman.
Yeah.
Where it's all about him. Whoever that him is, even at that time. I don't like that.
Yeah.
And I've been very independent in my relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why the whole Ben thing hit me so hard. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. It felt just like not congruent with
who you are.
With who I am or who I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Gotcha. And that makes a lot of sense to me. As independent women, we like to have control.
Yeah.
And to feel like we decide who impacts us and who affects us.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I'm wondering how that relates to your family. I mean, I know not relying on any man, that's our own like independent woman thing, right? But I guess I'm just curious if this idea of not wanting to be affected by people, not wanting something to be all about another person, if that connects to your family.
I can imagine that it does. I mean, connections that I'm making right now are that I don't want it to be about one other person, because that would mean that I have to find meaning from them.
Yeah.
And my parents really don't give me that.
Yeah.
So it would be very difficult for me and very hard for me if they were my one source of like, you're good and you're whatever, blah, 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 all the attributes.
Because they're not giving that to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think that I try not, maybe even unconsciously, I try not to set myself up for failure.
Right. You put that guard up.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that makes a ton of sense to me. You know, you don't want to be set up for failure. You don't want to expect meaning and encouragement and love from somewhere where it's not.
Right.
It's not flowing freely.
Mm-hmm.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So, if you haven't found that from your parents, and you certainly make it a goal to not find that from other people, where do you find your meaning and your worth?
Yeah. Kind of more of like a stubborn, I have worth because I have worth kind of a thing.
Just like I'm going to believe it by golly.
Yeah. It's always been a very intrinsic thing.
Yeah.
It's always been very, like, regardless of how you make me feel, I know that I'm solid.
Yeah.
And I think, even, like, I think it's come out in different ways of, like, being, like I said, being stubborn or, like, having an ego. Like,
yeah.
I know I'm good at things, and I'm going to tell you that or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I think it's always kind of come from within.
Yeah.
Or it's had to.
You developed it.
I developed it. Yeah, and it's, there are good things about it, like I know my worth.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are other things about, like, how, I can be an aggressive, assertive person.
Yeah.
And assertive's not a bad thing, but...
Yeah.
So, I think there's both sides to that.
Yeah. Well, I do want to take a minute to just say that I am so thankful and glad that you have that within you, that it's intrinsic for you. I think that that's given you a lot of resiliency in this situation. Maybe. And I think that it makes it safer for you to talk to your parents, knowing that it's not going to change how you feel about yourself. What do you think?
I think it's like both and. It's like, this is why it's confusing.
Yeah.
Because that's true. Like,
yeah.
I've grown up that way, and I used to be such a jerk when I was younger, because I'd be like, you can't talk to me like that, da-da-da-da, yeah. Because it's weird, like, it's like, yes, that's true, but on the other hand, it's like, I'm a little kid again when I'm around them. I don't know.
Right.
Because something, my mom did teach me, growing up, it's like, you're strong and independent. You can do you.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's like weird. I don't even know how to describe it, but it's like weirdly attached to them.
Yeah.
But not, I don't know.
They taught you some things and made you who you are. But maybe also, like we've talked about, there are some areas that they didn't step up.
Right. And, yeah, it's like, I wrote this letter, but the idea of, like, sending it to them, is scary.
Yeah. It's a big deal.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. There's part of me that's just like, screw you. Like,
Send.
Yeah. This is my, like, independence or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then there's, like, another part of me that's like, oh, I can't handle the rejection.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
What rejection would you expect from them? I know we talked about their reaction, but the reaction is a lot more general than their rejection. I think that's the first time I've heard you say that.
I'm not sure. I just, and I don't really know how to like put it into words exactly because it's honestly, if they like yelled at me, that would be great. That would be so much more communication than
it'd be great.
I would expect. Yeah,
yeah.
Because then I know what they thought. And wow,
yeah,
how interesting that would be.
Right.
I guess I equate silence to rejection.
Okay. Silence is rejection.
Yeah. So the idea that I would just not hear anything back, or I'd get a call from my dad because it would be my mom calling, and I don't know, it just wouldn't come up. I don't know.
Yeah, so you would be afraid that you would read this letter to them or send it to them and they wouldn't respond.
Yeah.
At all.
That, yeah. And I'm sure that they would be affected. Like,
yeah.
Of course, right? That's
in
normal.
Some way.
In some way, they would be affected. But I don't think it would ever, like, maybe translate in their minds that, oh, this means that we should call our daughter. So
that they would know, but you're wanting them to do something about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What would be, so, preface, we've talked about the worst case scenario, right?
Yeah.
What would be the best case scenario?
Best case scenario. Best case scenario, we kind of talked about this a little bit before. It was just like if we took away all of the things that would
that will
stop,
happen.
yes, that will stop the good thing from happening.
Mm-hmm.
If we took away all of those things, my mom would call, and she would say, like, "I hear you. I read it, and I understand what you have to say."
Yeah. She would hear you and understand and maybe care.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah. Getting that from your mother, getting that acknowledgement and that nurturing, would it be worth the risk?
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Because it's like, status quo. It's a status quo for a reason.
Yeah.
It's comfortable.
It's calm.
It's calm. It's even-keeled. I think if I knew, obviously, if I had a guarantee that that's what she would say, of course, we'd go for it. But
yeah. The letter would be in the mail yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. I just have no idea if I could even account for a semblance of that reality in mine.
Yeah. Because you're so used to the paper.
Right.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I'm 30. She's, 62. So, can anything change now?
Yeah. Is there hope there?
Yeah. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I should just, coming to terms with this instead of expecting change.
Is that what you want?
I don't really know what I want
Yeah.
with this, to be honest. I have no idea. Yeah.
Okay. There's a lot of factors. I don't know that I would know what I wanted either. But I wonder, so you mentioned earlier that, status quo is status quo for a reason, because it's calm and comfortable. And I wonder if it really is calm and comfortable for you right now.
Well, no.
Yeah.
Because I'm here, right?
It's not always the most comfortable place in therapy.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't have come to therapy if I had like another option. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not to like.
No, I know. Yeah. You're not alone.
I think that it's kind of like there's just something always kind of under the surface.
Yeah.
And one slip, and it comes bubbling up. I don't know.
Yeah. So the water is smooth, but there's something lurking underneath it.
Yeah. So, and I guess kind of going along with the previous question of what I would want.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I would want to feel secure.
Yeah. Like there wasn't an alligator in the water.
Yeah. Clear blue water.
They can see to the bottom.
Yeah.
You'd know what's in that water.
Yeah.
You'd know what your parents are thinking.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be waiting for another shoe to fall.
Yeah.
Sounds like it'd be nice.
Yeah. Maybe that's what I want.
Okay. Do you think that would be a possible outcome of talking with them?
I mean, there are a multitude of possibilities, right? The world could end before this could happen. That's a possibility.
I mean, it's true. It might be ending right now. Who knows?
There you go.
We're not the government.
It's a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I just need to reconcile myself to the idea that whatever happens, it's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll know.
Yeah. Maybe you're thinking you just need to do it, and whatever happens will happen.
Maybe.
That sounds pretty scary.
Yeah. I think I'm scared.
Yeah.
If I'm just like putting it out there.
Yeah.
I say that, and yet at the same time, like,
Yeah. Like cognitively you know it, but inside, ugh.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, I understand that would be the best thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, right?
And yet.
So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. What else would it feel like other than scary? That be the only alligator in the water?
Anxiety producing, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I think just kind of going back to what we said before, but just like knowing. It's not a feeling, but like on the good side, it's just
Yeah.
I would know.
Yeah. So there could be good emotion.
Yeah. There kind of can be like this is final in a way. This is like that, like, I know.
There'd be some closure there.
Yeah.
That's good.
The thing is that, like, I'm thinking of the next step. So, like, if I talk to them or whatever, if things go well, then yay, things go well, right? If things go badly, I wonder what I would do.
Yeah. What would the fallout be like?
Right. Do we just go back to what things are? Because I'm not interested in not having a relationship with them. They're my parents, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's not like I can just be like, okay, goodbye, never mind.
Yeah, you can't just cut ties.
Right. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that would look like if things go the way that I expect them to go.
Right. So you're not expecting them to end with what you want.
No. Definitely not.
Seems heavy. What does it feel like to not have that hope?
Not sure. It feels just, well, there you go. Feels expected.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like, I don't know. The thing that's coming up for me, but I don't actually think I believe this, but like, it's what is deserved. But that's not it.
So, what is what's deserved?
Like this outcome, like
Them not responding is what you deserve.
I don't know. Like that's what I said the word deserve, so I put that out there.
Yeah, but it's not what you think.
It's not the right word.
Okay.
But like for them to like do a 180 is, I don't know, not expected. It's not I'm really failing here.
It's not what they've shown you in the past.
Right.
It's not what they've wanted to do in the past.
It's like it's not their choice. Like if they had wanted to change, and I just can't imagine that they would have just done it.
Yeah. So you feel like you would be forcing them to change.
Yeah.
You'd rather them just do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'd rather they wanted it.
Yeah.
I'd rather they wanted to have a relationship with me.
Yeah. What about you writing the letter, inciting change, would make you feel like they wouldn't choose it?
It's easier not to. And I mean, my mom, my parents really have been like this forever.
Mm-hmm.
So why would they change now? when I'm not there, when they don't really have to have a relationship with me at all.
So, sounds like you're saying it feels too late. Is that right?
Yeah, I guess. It feels like, yeah, why would they take a step in the direction they obviously don't want to go?
Yeah.
When I'm sure they're content with their life.
Do you think they know they've caused you pain?
No.
Yeah.
I don't think they have that insight.
Right.
Into how their actions affect people.
Right.
So.
Do you think they would change if they knew that you were in pain? They would want you not to be in pain?
I think they don't want me to be in pain.
Yeah.
I think that.
Yeah.
I wonder, though, how it would translate. Because I guess the way that I'm thinking about it is, in order for things to change, my parents would literally, have to have a different personality.
Yeah, they'd have to be different people.
They would have to be different.
Yeah.
They would have to communicate. They would have to ask me how I'm doing. They would have to tell me how they're doing.
Yeah.
We would actually have to form a connection in that way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they do that with anybody but themselves.
With each other.
Yeah.
So it'd be a huge step.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that you're worth them making that commitment?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if they see me that way. I don't know if they have a problem with. I guess that kind of is where I feel like it stems from. Is do they think that there's an issue?
Right. If they don't know there's an issue, it can't change.
Right. But also, in that is, if they don't think there's an issue at all, even once it's been addressed, then
nothing happens.
Nothing happens. So, yeah, I worry. I worry on how they will perceive that.
That you're worried that even if they did know, maybe they wouldn't do anything about it. And that would be hard.
Yeah.
Harder than them not knowing and not doing anything.
Right. Right.
That would be very hard. Well, I know, we have just a few minutes left. And I'm wondering where you're finding yourself right now. Where's your heart at? Where's your head at?
I think I'm sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm sad.
Sad at the prospect of nothing changing?
Yeah, and I know we only have a few minutes. This is kind of like going further in than we should be right now.
No, it's fine.
Sad at the idea that in some ways I'm not wanted.
Right.
Kind of translating their actions or inaction to that.
Mm-hmm.
Something that I guess I do.
Yeah.
So.
And that maybe their reaction to a letter would prove that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I wonder if this week you would be willing to journal a little bit about that emotion. If you would be willing to sit with it some and process, what it would mean to be unwanted, what it would mean if the worst thing happened, but also what it would mean if the best thing happened.
I can try.
And, this is actually, as you know, we have one session left. I know that we've gone really deep with things, so maybe including in that some ways that you found yourself growing, some ways that maybe you found new parts of yourself, some areas that you like and you want, regardless of what they say.
Okay.
Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Hannah. Well, you did a lot of great work today. I'm always honored to sit with you, and I really hope you have a good week, okay?